third woman. Our third
Meanwhile,
place woman,
third place woman just coming in. Perfect timing for Robyn Mildren.
8:07.
So that rounds out your women's podium. .807 on the clock for Robyn Mildren. Bib number 3, finishing third place. Huzzah indeed. And it was crucial for her to finish strong because Natalie Sandoval is now also in the last mile of this race here at the Lake Sonoma 50, presented by Adidas Terex. All right, listen, we're going to get into it. We have a swap athlete, which means to start this off, I need your best Roche Huzzah impersonation. And we must have it.
We demand it.
The crowd needs it.
All right, here we go. Huzzah!
There it is.
That's solid. That's all. That was good. That was good. There's just something about his that is just so guttural and so just deep from within that I think it takes years of practice to be able to pull off a David Roche Huzzah. But that was pretty solid. So walk us through. We were chatting a little bit earlier about this women's race and how close you guys were for so much of the beginning of the race. Was this like a girl power, let's band together and let's just work together, or did you just happen to be with each other? What was that?
Maybe I was just unaware, but to me it just happened organically. I mean, maybe they had a group and they discussed it and then I just found my way in there, but no, I was pretty shocked. Like, about 5 of us women were in a pack together for quite a while, up until the first crude aid station. I mean, I kind of like had a little gap on the road to begin with because that felt really easy for me. But that was actually an uncomfortable place to be in because I don't like being at the front of a race in a 15-miler that early on, especially when it's live streamed and people are going to be like, "Oh, she really blew up."
Oh yeah, there's always I can understand that, the pressure of the live stream being out there. But on the other hand, people get to watch you have a fantastic day. As many of those out there are, I would say your name is not a household name yet, but for those who are watching, this is Robyn Mildren. I apologize. I did not introduce you to start off with. We just started chatting, and I was just so excited to hear about your race. So this is third place. Robyn Mildren just kind of snuck in behind Jane Moss there. You guys all had a great day. It did get kind of a little spread out. How did you feel about the out and back section? Seeing Jane and Tara out there, was it invigorating, or was it like, oh man, I got some work to do? What was that like?
It was super invigorating. I ran with Jane for like a decent amount of the first half of the race, and I could just tell, like, you can just feel the experience when you're behind someone like that. Like, just she was just very steady. I felt like my heart rate was steadier when I was running with her as opposed to running on my own, where I was probably running the uphills too hard. Yeah, it was great. And then seeing Tara, because it's an out and back, so you do the turnaround and then you can see exactly how far behind, and I was like, oh shit, like Tara's killing it and she looks good. And you know, like, Tara, like, for a lot of people, she's an idol of mine for sure as well. And we've raced each other at JFK 50 a couple of years ago. So, you know, I know that we both have very different skill sets. So it was really interesting to line up with her on a course like this, which was like, you know, very, very runnable, but still pretty hard for someone who doesn't live in like a trail mecca.
Yeah, that's fair. So how do you feel? Like, you mentioned your strengths. Both of you kind of have like different levels of strengths, different like focuses in terms of strengths. How do you feel like this course did it even things out a little bit, because it is still really difficult but also very runnable? Yeah, how did you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, I would say, like, I had, as someone with more of a road running background, and I still mostly train on roads, not quite by choice, but just I don't have time to take a car ride out to the trails and still get to work by 9 a.m. So, you know, I felt like JFK honestly like played to my strengths because you had to be a trail runner to get through the Appalachian Trail. But then you need to be a pretty good like marathon runner for the rest of the race, the towpath and the road. This race, I still think, well, you know, I don't know whose strengths it played to, but maybe Tara is just like really upped her game, which is probably a bit of both.
She's had a bit of a breakthrough lately, kind of proving that she's not just a long, slow Appalachian Trail style runner or a big mountain runner. So yeah, I mean, anytime you come in shortly behind someone like Tara Dower, a Courtney DeWalter, a Jim Walmsley, you've got to count that as a successful day. What, in your mind, was your type of success? What was your biggest success out there today?
I mean, it's an interesting question because I do feel like I came into this race in a different place than my previous 50 milers. I mean, I just like went through a super stressful time with work, like trying to get a faculty position and coming so close twice and not landing my dream job. And then I really just needed this race to like have something else to focus on and something to structure my training and just something that's low stakes but allowed me to just push myself mentally and physically to my limit and just explore the pain cave. You know, it's cliche, but I just needed it, you know? And so like really I wanted to come in here and just do the very best I could, stay in a good headspace and just run until my legs were totally fried and just do my, like, I mean, be smart, you know, with hydration and everything. But that was kind of like the headspace I was in coming in. But at the same time, in the back of my mind, I'm like, it would be really cool to run with and beat some of these incredible pro athletes.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it sounds like you had a fantastic day out there. I think we all enjoy, I mean, we're all in this sport because we enjoy a good flogging, and there's something cathartic out there about that, you know, digging yourself a nice deep hole and then climbing out of it. And you climbed out of it fairly well in third place. That is a podium finish with some incredible athletes around you, both in front and behind. What did you think of the course? Have you been out here before? Was this your first time in this area? Yeah, what did you think about it?
I have never been out here. I think this is only my second time in California. The other time was for academic conference, so that
totally
barely
different.
counts.
Yeah.
But I have not explored this terrain. I got here Thursday night, so I was able to run like 40 minutes on it. So
Coach let you run 40-minute shakeout. Nice.
Yeah, it was like, you know, we're like, well, let's just see what this has to offer. And I have to say, the hills were bigger than they looked on paper. But hills always hit a little differently in a 50 miler than a 50K.
Fair.
They're a lot more aggressive. They're a lot more aggressive in that 50-mile distance.
Yeah, thinking through the actual like underfoot experience, you do a lot of road running. We catch a lot of flack out here for the California carpet. Was it technical, quote unquote, technical towards the end? Like, how did you just feel like your stride? How was everything biomechanically moving by the end of it compared to a JFK or a Quebec?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't as California carpety as I was hoping. Like, I thought you'd be able to flow a lot more out there, but it was a little more rugged than I expected.
You set that up for a little California redemption, didn't you?
I cannot confirm or deny.
Yeah, so, you know, the trails on the East Coast, as you know, are a little bit more like, well, a lot more like rocky and rooty.
Yeah.
So when I like do my big trail long runs on the weekend, I get exposure to that. But I still feel like I'm not quite as smooth as other athletes who train on trails almost every day.
Yeah,
So-
specificity does make a bit of a difference, but at the end of the day, fitness is fitness, and that's what gets you where you're at, right?
Yeah, you can't be upset with a third place.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Yeah, we got to keep reframing this a little bit. You keep downplaying this. We're like, no, Robyn, come on, girl. You
Yeah,
third
I'm
place.
not
Look at this.
Some mistakes were made, and you know,
I mean, it's an
Very-
ultra.
Yeah.
First mistake was signing up for the race. After that, it just was a cascading effect.
Yeah.
So she. Thank you, Patty. You. Yes, for those who could not hear, because Patty's not on the mic, he said after a PhD, you know misery and you know the pain box. So
Yeah. 5 years goes by a little slower than 50 miles even.
that's dark. I'm not even gonna explore that one. So let's look to the future. All right. So what's next on the docket? Are you seeing this as a springboard to a future race? Was this like the A race, and now you go back and reconfigure? Where are we going for the rest of 2025?
That's a good question. I really have no idea. I've been wanting to do some really stupid things not because I think I'll be good at them, but because I just, want to experience them.
Yeah.
And one of those things is Canadian Death Race, so that's one thing I'm thinking about. I'm hoping to make the Canadian national team for Worlds. I ended up in third at nationals and top 2 auto qualify. They can send up to 6, but I'm not in a safe place. So if that happens, that would be definitely like my big race.
Yeah.
But if not, there's amazing races out there, and I would love to do something longer, not because I think I'll be good at it, but because I want to experience it.
What I absolutely love is we just had Jane in here talking about how she's a mountain athlete, but she wants to go sign up for Leadville, or she signed up for Leadville 100 because it's a running race, and she wants to try to see how she does there. And we've got you saying, I want to try to explore Canadian Death Race. Why not? Even though I'm a quote unquote road runner.
Right.
So
or
that's
go
awesome.
running Canfranc and what is it, 10,000 feet of gain, and just for the short trail or something like that. So, okay, so let's use this moment to build a resume. So I want you to just deadpan. So that's your camera. I want you to tell the Canadian Federation why Lake Sonoma has improved your resume to the point that they should put you on that roster.
Ooh, I would like to say that, I think that the course there is going to really play to my strengths, and 50 miles this is my third 50 miler, and I've been pretty consistent, and I've got some work to do for sure, but I accept that, and I'm just looking forward to having a big goal and trying to have my best finish ever at Worlds.
I love that.
I
How
love
can they
it.
say no?
Yeah, and I'm a even put the stats behind it. You've never finished worse than 4th place in a 50 miler, right? You have a 2nd at JFK. You have the 4th at Squamish, and now a 3rd here.
That shows range.
It shows range.
Squamish, JFK, here. You got all 3 very different, great
Very
races.
different courses, but shows that you are a straight competitor in all of those areas and all those arenas. So Canada, no pressure, but do the damn thing. Come on, let's make it happen.
When Robyn shows up, she throws down, and that's all that's going to happen, no matter what the course, no matter where it's at. That's what we know. We know that is an absolute truth. So come on, I'm gonna go for it. The Great White North needs to. We're gonna petition for you down here, even though our word
Thank you.
doesn't mean anything up there. But
We know some people.
There's some great
Talk to
people
Gary.
there now.
A
in
Station
Athletics
Fireball.
Canada.
Make a call. All right, so where do we follow you? Are you a Strava person? Instagram? Where can we follow your journey?
I love Strava. I know that doesn't really get you anywhere, but I love the community on Strava, especially people around Baltimore. It blows my mind. I wake up and see somebody put in a 20-mile trail long run at 3 a.m. to get to their kids at 7 and to work all day, and Strava, the people on Strava, especially in Baltimore, they grind so hard, and it just keeps me super inspired. So I love going on Strava. I get nothing but positive vibes from it. I also have Instagram, but I'm not super great at being popular there.
Well, okay, not with that attitude. All right, we'll work on it. PubMed, we got a Substack. Is there something? LinkedIn? We're on this faculty grind. How can we help?
You could look up my Google Scholar. It's verified. Find my papers. Please give them a read.
Love.
It is convergence of vestibular and proprioceptive feedback in the nodulus uvula of the cerebellar vermis, or something like that.
Or something. Yeah, I knew half of those words. I've got my doctorates in physical therapy, so some of those words sounded familiar. No, that's amazing that you are grinding in several different aspects of your life. You're doing phenomenally well. You're performing, and we love to see the success not only in the real world but also here on the Lake Sonoma course. Robyn, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for giving us some of your time and letting us celebrate you on this third place finish here, the tip of the podium out here at Lake Sonoma 50 miler. Congrats on a fantastic day. And again, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.